Throughout this video, as I share how PT schools rank your references and your letters of recommendation, I really encourage you to start thinking about 2 to 3 people, potential people that you're going to ask as a reference. In this video, we're going to be talking about what is required for letters of recommendation, how it works with PTCAS, how to strategize who to ask, and how to ask. By the end of this video, my intention is that you will have a perfect match for 2 or 3 people that you are going to ask for your letters of recommendation. So let's get into this. Let's go. So what is required? It really depends, of course, again, on the PT program. But PTCAS says you can upload a maximum of 4 people or 4 references. And it won't hurt you even if they require only 2. If you want to upload 4, you're more than welcome to. But check this out. Every PT program will require a different type of person and how many people as well. So for example, one PT program might require 3 people and another program might require 2. For this 3-person program, they might require 2 of them to be a PT, 1 of them to be a professor. For this program, they might say, I want 1 of them to be a PT and the other one, I don't really care. So it could be your family member, it could be a coach, it could be a friend, whatever, right? So check this out. Woo! PTCAS does a great job at organizing this. I'll put in the link in the description. PTCAS has a thing where it shows you all the schools and it shows you how many requirements and who and what type of requirements there are for each program. So I highly recommend that you go check that out. Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Dr. Live for Change, Justin Lee, physical therapist. I'm a PT school admission expert and I'm currently working as a physical therapist, but I'm also super passionate about helping students get accepted into physical therapy school. So if you have been getting a ton of value from this video so far, I highly encourage you to check out the rest of my videos on this channel. Also, this video is a part of a series, the physical therapy requirements. So if you like what you see, feel free to subscribe to the channel and also feel free to follow me on all my other socials. Okay, so how does it work with PTCAS? Let's just fast forward. You found a physical therapist and a professor, let's say, to ask as your letter of recommendation. You already asked them, we went through that awkward phase, whatever, and you've already had that designation, right? You got their email. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna do step 1, 3 steps. You're gonna do step 1, select them as your letters of reference. Step 2, you're gonna get their email and they're gonna get an email getting them to a portal to PTCAS. And then step 3, PTCAS is gonna give them 2 different steps, okay, to move forward. And these steps are super important to pay attention to because the first one is a questionnaire about you. So you might want to know what questions they're going to ask, right? So you can strategize that. And then number 2 is going to be their letter of recommendation. So we're going to talk about that right now. Okay, cool. So we're going to talk about how to strategize who to ask for your letter of recommendation. This part, I'm going to break it down to 2 different sections because I think it's important that we stay organized, okay? So this first section is going to be that questionnaire. What are the questions that they're going to ask your letter of reference or your reference, right? So here are the questions. They're going to ask them, how long have you known the applicant? How well do you know the applicant? Select the role that best describes your primary interaction with the applicant. If you select instructor, professor above, please list all courses in which you have had the applicant. Approximately how many references do you submit on behalf of physical therapy applicants each year? Are you a licensed physical therapist? If you're a physical therapist, please indicate the physical therapy institution from which you graduated. If you're a physical therapist, please indicate the state in which you are licensed. If you are a physical therapist, please enter your PT license number. Okay, so those are the questions that they're gonna get asked from PTCAS. So that already gives you some insight as far as how you can strategize on who you're going to ask. Now, let's move on to part 2. In part 2, we're gonna be talking about who you are going to ask. This is extremely important and I cannot stress this enough. You need to start thinking about potential people that you are going to ask and start building a relationship with them. The worst case scenario, the biggest mistake a student can make is to not have a relationship with somebody that they're thinking of asking, and then all of a sudden when they say, hey, I need this letter of recommendation, this PT or professor is like, I don't know you. And then now you're scrambling to get some sort of recommendation. Worst case scenario, we want to avoid that at all costs, right? So we want to make sure we're asking the right people and asking, strategizing different things on how they might know you best, okay? So here are a couple things that I want you to think about on who you're going to ask. Remember I told you to think about 2 or 3 people? These people should, the following, okay? They should know you as a distinct individual. They should know you as a unique, your uniqueness. They should know you because you're different. They know you personally, on a personal level, right? They should be able to shed light on your personality for sure. Are you charming? Are you charismatic? Are you a great listener, right? They should know those things about you. They should definitely respect you as a person, as a student, as a future doctor. And very funny, but super important, they should be responsible. The physical therapist or whoever you're asking should be responsible in a way where if you say, hey, it's due by, in like 3 months, they should have it done by 3 months. There have been times where students have asked certain people who know them, but they're not responsible or they're not, attentive to the due dates, and then they miss the deadline. Okay, so just something to consider. Those are the things that I really want you to think about when you're thinking about who you're going to ask as your potential therapist. Now, I've seen a lot of different schools ask similar questions that they're going to ask of your reference. So here are some questions that they will send over to them as well. They might ask them, how long and in what capacity have you known the applicant? What is the greatest strength the applicant could bring to the program? Is there anything the applicant could work on to increase his or her likelihood of success in the program? And please provide your overall recommendation, whether you strongly recommend, neutral, or do not recommend. Please don't get anyone who does not recommend you. Okay, so as far as recommendations go, if you're wondering, hey, Coach, Dr. Justin Lee, Coach Justin, do you do letters of recommendation? Yes, I do. And I will only be doing them for students who join the Accepted Applicant online group coaching program. This is because I will get to know you on a personal level. I will get to know your dreams, your goals, your work ethic. So I will be able to talk a lot into your perspective and talk a lot really highly of you. So if you're interested in getting a letter of recommendation from me, also, if you're trying to apply this year, 2022, the upcoming cycle, 2022 to 23, the March cohort starts in March, which is coming up really soon. And once it starts, it closes. These students who go into this online program will learn the secrets of the application. I'm going to coach them on a monthly basis throughout 6 sessions to coach them on the requirements, how to boost their application, how to answer and look for different things in the essays, right, and strategize that way, observation hours, letters of recommendation, etc. And so that ultimately they can get accepted into PT school. So if you want more information on that, feel free to check out the link in the description. So let's get into how to ask a physical therapist, professor, whoever, how to ask them, okay? First things first, it's kind of like dating, like you wouldn't just like meet the first person and be like, marry me, please. No way, that's freaking awkward. Okay, so you kind of gotta get a feel for it. I recommend hanging out, with the professor. Maybe you're doing office hours, maybe a couple times. Maybe if you're doing a PT, you're under the supervision of the PT and you're talking to them for several working sessions, right? And after you kind of get a feel, you're like, all right, like I think this person would be worth investing into. What you would do is you would send a formal email, and all you need to write, and you can just say to them in person as well, is, hey, would you be willing to write my letter of recommendation when I'm going into PT school, right? And they'll say, oh, sure, right? Like, yeah, I've done this before, or sure, like this is my first time. What do you need of me? And basically you tell them exactly what we're learning from this video, right? Now, I also want to let you know and share with you right now some things to send over in that email along with asking them, because I think it can give them a lot more information as far as how they can write your letter of recommendation and how they can start perceiving you a little bit more, okay? So here are the couple things that I want you to include in that email as well, okay? Number one, an up-to-date resume. Okay. Number two, your current role and what you're doing now. Are you an aide, a volunteer? What else are you doing? A personal trainer, a student, etc. What degree are you going for? Okay. What the recommendation is for. Obviously for PT school, right? You should share why you're qualified. Now, in this why you're qualified, I would recommend that you take some time to think about this, you know? It's a humble brag. Brag about yourself. This is super important. The PT or whoever is not going to know why you're qualified unless you share with them. So be vulnerable, please. Share relevant working habits, academic successes or skills or awards. Highly recommend that you put that in there as well. And then lastly, just at the bottom, say, hey, I request this by whatever date. I really recommend that you request it at least 2 weeks before you're anticipating sending that first application when the PT school PTCAS opens up. Oh man. So I hope that helps on how to ask, and earlier the better, and then the longer you have the relationship, the stronger, the more dense the letter of recommendation will be. Honestly, I'm here to serve students, pre-physical therapy students, and help them get into PT school. That is my mission. That is just what I want to do. And if you're a student who's struggling, who is not confident, who needs direction, I really encourage you to check out Accepted Applicant if you're applying this year. If you're not, let's do the cohort next year. I'll meet you then. But honestly, I'm just here to help you get accepted and give you as many tools and resources as possible to help you just live out your dream as a future doctor of physical therapy. Whew, I believe in you, y'all. Every day is a great day to lift weights, lift others, and lift yourself up. Stay lifting, stay aloha. God bless. Have a great one, you guys.